Earlier, Chinese hackers used to take part in hacking competitions all over the world and secure the first positions. But after 2017, suddenly their presence disappeared. At first, no one understood why Chinese hackers were no longer participating. But then in 2019, an incident happened that exposed China's dangerous clan. Welcome once again to iFlare TV videos. Viewers, in March 2017, a group of hackers from China went to Vancouver, Canada. Their mission was to find hidden weaknesses inside the world's most used softwares and devices. Their targets were Google's Chrome browser, Microsoft Windows, and Apple's iPhones. But these people were not there to commit crimes. They went to participate in a legal hacking competition called PWN2OWN. This is one of the world's biggest hacking competitions where hackers hack company software to find security flaws or loopholes. In return, they receive cash prizes. The competition has different rewards, ranging from $500,000 to $1 million. The biggest prize is for finding a vulnerability that no one has discovered before. This is called a zero-day vulnerability. When a hacker finds such a flaw, the details are given directly to the company, like Google, Microsoft, or Apple, so that they can immediately fix the problem by releasing an update. And the hackers receive millions of dollars in prize money. This means it is an ethical hacking competition, where hacking does not harm anyone, but instead makes security even better. For many years, Chinese hackers dominated such competitions, whether it was PWN2OWN or any other hacking event. Chinese hackers always came out on top. But after 2017, everything suddenly changed. The same Chinese hackers who used to actively participate in hacking events around the world suddenly vanished. After 2017, in all hacking events, the absence of Chinese hackers was noticed by everyone. This silence started to bother people, especially America. And during this time, a random message from one of China's biggest cybersecurity firms raised eyebrows. Tianfu 360, a top Chinese cybersecurity company, had its CEO Zhou Hongyi make a public statement. He criticized these Chinese hackers, asking, "Why do they go abroad to show their hacking skills?" He gave the statement to China's news agency Sina, saying that performing well in such events is just an imaginary victory, nothing but a show-off. His stance was that the vulnerabilities hackers find are not worth a few $100,000, but instead billions of dollars. Shortly after the CEO's statement, Chinese hackers stopped participating in international competitions. But it later became clear that they had not stopped voluntarily. The Chinese government had stopped them. If anyone had taken Zhou Hongyi's statement seriously, it was the Chinese government. Soon after, the government officially banned cybersecurity researchers and hackers from participating in overseas competitions. Right after this ban, China launched its own domestic hacking competition called the Tianfu Cup. This became an alternative to international contests, with prize money exceeding $1 million. The launch of Tianfu Cup alerted many countries, because it was a sign that China was now preparing itself for cyber warfare using hacking. In November 2018, the first Tianfu Cup was organized in Chengdu, China. A researcher from Tianfu 360, Qi Jianzhao, won the top prize. He discovered a very powerful and dangerous hack in Apple's iPhone. Starting with a Safari browser attack, he found a loophole inside iPhone's core system. Through this flaw, he managed to remotely control any iPhone simply by making the user open a web page. This meant that if anyone visited that specific web page, their phone would be taken over by the hacker, without them noticing. Qi Jian named this exploit Chaos. The name was perfect because in the coming months, this hack was about to become a nightmare for cyber experts worldwide. The difference between Canada's PWN2OWN and China's Tianfu Cup was critical. In PWN2OWN, hackers gave the flaw directly to the company. But in Tianfu Cup, the Chinese government made it mandatory that all discovered hacks be handed to the government first. Only then would the government decide whether or not to pass it to the company. And this was where the real disaster began. This was a hack that, if sold on the black market, could have fetched millions of dollars. It could be used by criminals or governments to spy on thousands of people. 2 months later, in January 2019, Apple silently released an update fixing the flaw discovered by Qi Jian. But the real shock came in August 2019, 7 months later. Google published a research paper revealing that a mass-level hacking campaign was targeting iPhones, where people's phones were being hacked on a large scale. Google identified 5 different exploit chains, and one of them was the same chaos exploit Qi Jian had demonstrated at Tianfu Cup. This meant that the same exploit which won Qi Jian the prize was now being used for mass surveillance of iPhones. Google researchers noted that the real-world attacks matched chaos in many ways. But Google did not disclose who carried out the attacks or who the victims were. Later, it was revealed that the victims were Uyghur Muslims, and the attacker was none other than the Chinese government itself. Since 2014, China has been accused of severe human rights violations against Uyghur Muslims and other minorities. This is happening in Xinjiang, a northwestern province of China. Here, without any crimes, hundreds of thousands of people were locked inside camps. Women were forcibly sterilized to reduce their population. Reports emerged of torture and sexual abuse inside the camps. Every phone was monitored to check for religious content. If anything was found, the person was severely punished. Chinese officials claimed they were doing this to stop extremism, but the US and many other countries declared it genocide. And China's hacking campaign was not limited to Uyghur Muslims, but also targeted journalists, activists, and anyone who questioned Chinese government policies. After Google published its report on iPhone hacking, media quickly connected the dots. Later, Apple confirmed in a post that the hack had indeed been active for 2 months, the exact time when Qi Jian had won Tianfu Cup. For American experts, one thing became clear. China was following the exact strategy suggested by Coho 360's CEO. Stop hackers from going abroad, use their skills inside China, and then exploit those hacks for surveillance. To prove this, U.S. surveillance agencies conducted a full technical breakdown of the chaos exploit, and it matched exactly with the Tianfu Cup hack. Later, Google's deep investigation also confirmed that chaos and the real-world attack were structurally identical. But the story didn't end there. In February 2024, data leaked on code-sharing website GitHub. It was from a Chinese IT security firm called Isun. The leaked data included company emails, chat logs, and spyware development details. It revealed that Isun was developing cyber spying tools, which were later provided to the Chinese government and the People's Liberation Army. The leaked chats showed contracts between China's Ministry of Public Security and Isun. It also revealed that Isun charged between $7,000 and $75,000 for every hacked email inbox. Today, Tianfu Cup has entered its 8th year, sponsored by China's biggest tech giants like SEC, Alibaba, and Coho 360. But American officials are deeply concerned, because participants and companies in this competition appear to have links with the Chinese military. SEC, a Beijing-based company that organizes Tianfu Cup, is believed by U.S. officials to be recruiting nationalist hackers through the competition. All these things point to one reality, that under the cover of Tianfu Cup, China is preparing cyber weapons. And when national powers support hackers, it's never just about winning prizes. Their purpose is something far more dangerous. In 2024, the U.S. Treasury Department was hacked. According to America, Chinese state-sponsored hackers infiltrated its computers and stole sensitive documents. That same year, Chinese hackers breached the networks of at least 9 U.S. telecom companies, including at /T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. In 2022, a Chinese hacking group called Volt Typhoon targeted U.S. energy and water filtration systems. In 2023, a malware attack was launched against a U.S. military base in Guam. These are just a few references to incidents where Chinese hackers were involved. Experts say that whenever Chinese hacking groups target critical infrastructure, they quietly maintain access inside the systems for years and strike only when the right time comes. All of this proves that China is building an army of hackers inside its own borders, preparing for a cyber war. A war where missiles are not needed, where just lines of code can bring an entire nation to its knees. where network jams can cause more damage than airstrikes, where spying tools inside phones are more dangerous than real-life agents, and where just one click can crash the stock market and spread fear across a population. We hope you will like and share this iFlare TV video as well. Thank you so much for your kind comments. We'll see you in the next amazing video.